vegetation and meat, they are known as omnivores. So now let us summarize up till now what we have read about or what we have discussed about the food chains and food web. We said that food chains are a continuous link between producers and consumers. And we described food web as multiple food chains combined together, as you can see over here. For example, food chain, we can see a plant. The first consumer is the cow and sheep, and the second consumer is the lion, and the third consumer are the decomposers. So we can also establish how many links are between the producers and the decomposers. Similarly, we can take an example of a food web. A cow or a sheep can be eaten by a lion. It can also be eaten by a human being. And human being can also eat plants. Now, coming to the energy flow. As you can see, and we have talked about it, that maximum energy from the sun is reflected back, or rather, we can say is wasted. And if small amounts is only able to reach our atmosphere. So we can say that the energy transfer from the sun is inefficient. Why? Because only 2% of the sun's energy reaches us. The rest 98% is lost during the journey. For numerics, you can see that the sun produces 1 million kilojoule of energy. Now coming back to our producers, they have consumed sun's energy to photosynthesize, to respire, to grow, and become available to be eaten by herbivores or omnivores. These plants, during their lifetime, they spend most of their energy in growing, in producing fruits, in building starch. Therefore, if eaten up by a cow or a human being, the energy transfer again is really inefficient. Only 5% of the energy is transferred. Moving up the link, we again see that the energy transfer from a cow to the lion again is inefficient. Why? Because during the lifetime of this cow or sheep, they have worked hard, they have produced milk, they have spent their energy in the process of respiration, in growing up, in doing other activities related to the animals. Therefore, a very less amount of energy stored in their meat and bones, which is transferred to the consumer. So, this is the food web. And one more important thing here I would like you to notice is that the energy transfer, we point the arrow towards the consumer. For example, sunlight is consumed by the producers. So the arrow would be pointing towards the producers, the ones who eats up. And similarly, who eats up the producers? the cows or the sheeps. So the arrow is pointing towards the cows or sheeps. Who eats the producers? Humans. So the arrow is towards the humans. We can expand our food web, and I will uh, ask you to have an exercise and draw a food web for animals which you love, and try to correlate and try to build a relationship and how they are connected with each other. So this plant, this tree can be eaten by a squirrel, and that squirrel is eaten up by an owl. So we have established another chain in this food web. And this owl, when it's dead, it can be consumed by the decomposers. Well, every biotic factor ends up and meets their fate, which is the decomposers. So, with this, I hope so that you have understood the concepts of food chain, food webs, and energy flow. One more important thing is that the starters, the producers, are the lowest in the energy flow diagram, and the decomposers rest at the higher level. Therefore, we can see that as we go lower down the energy flow web, the energy intake becomes efficient. And as we move further from the producers, the energy exchange, the energy transfer becomes inefficient. That's why there's a famous question, wheat or meat? So, if humans eat meat, they have to go one link, two links. The energy is lost. Much of the energy is lost. But if we directly go and have vegetations, plants, the producers, then the energy transfer would be efficient. Thank you for watching this video. With this, I would like to conclude. Stay blessed, stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.